Man, I always love the
What's
intro.
good? Thank you. What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and it's been a while. Man, love you, miss you guys. This is not a dead channel. And also, I mean, coming back after kind of a 1 year sabbatical, I came out with the guns blazing. I mean, you can even say I had cannons because who do we have? Mad Cannons, J.W. Kiser, heading up for BKFC Kansas City, BKFC Fight Night, August 16th. It's going down live on the BKFC app. Mad Cannons, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Hey, dude, again, it's always fun to see you. It's always fun to be on your podcast. Man, we've had some good, deep conversations on here, man. Last one was mid-COVID, I think, and you had posted. I think we had to take it down or something because there was because of the COVID crap and everybody was freaking out, and it was still like the midst of the peak of the whole scare. We pulled it down just because of there was a local business that was named in there, and I since then they really don't care, and they were they hardly closed at all. We've broken a lot of rules in the midst of this, but that being said, we were respectful enough to do it, take it down. But lots of sweet podcasts because we kicked it. We killed it.
No, 100%. Great. And that's the thing about it, though. Like, everybody, and right now, right? Like, we're kind of in a different time, right? Like, it's a political whatever, with no matter what side, like, whatever, you can pick holes at whatever and everything like that. This is just a space. Like, I personally don't like theme podcasts. That's one thing, like, I made sure of, right? I had somebody that had a podcast, like, early on, right? And they had a formatted podcast. Like, it was just this subject, right? And they had a chance to interview Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And this person said, it doesn't fit my format. And I was like, fuck your format. Like, that's it. So that's the thing, according to Woods, right? So, sometimes you're going to get, you're going to get MMA and pro wrestling for sure, right? You're going to get combat sports, but you'll get, dumb shit memes and whatever. It's all.
We got into a conversation about, because I think it was still semi in the kind of the wake of George Floyd's situation. We got into a conversation that had to do with race. It was super interesting, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great insight and perspective from all sides. It was great, man. And unfortunately, we had to take it down though, man. Like, if you still got it, man, post it.
100%. I'm addicted to the archives here in StreamYard, which I haven't done in a while, So we were kind of talking off air, going through some life-changing ish and whatever. So I wanted to make sure that when I came back, and that was the inevitable, because once you're in it and you love to do this, as you know, there's nothing stopping that, right? Like, you will always go back to it, right?
Go for it. This right here, man. So this is my first podcast that I've been a guest on for a long time. I did, I think, 21 episodes. And you can, if you guys want to jump on Spotify, you can check those out. They're under MMA Futures. Also clogging up the air. So MMA Futures, clogging up the airway. It was I think we lose Adam. I think we lost Adam.
No, I'm in full screen.
I got you. Okay, I got you. I got to see what we're doing. Okay. So anyway, it was clogging up the airways. It was we did 21 episodes ish. I think a couple of them got pulled down for different issues. That was on the YouTube side of it. When we got onto the Spotify, I think there's some good guests there. That there's one James Krause. He's recently went through some stuff with the UFC, and he's been banned from the UFC. We had an interesting conversation. There's also, I think I had one with a playmate and the head matchmaker of BKFC, which is Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. That's the one that Conor McGregor owns part of now. Anyway, I'm just sitting here right now, and I've been on here for a few minutes with you, just chopping it up, man. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like, I got to get mine going again, man. Like, let's go. This is fun. I love having conversations, and like you said, there's no real, you stick. You don't just go with one genre. Yeah, man, we're talking about fighters here. We got fighters on, but man, we're talking about real life shit. Situations that every one of us as people go through. With mine, I had a rough stretch of my personal life. It was, there was a lot of things that happened that were just terrible, and these things happen to people. It isn't something that is just unique. It isn't something that just happens to this guy or this dude bringing it on himself. And usually, in my case, it's a 50-50 street, man. Everybody contributes to their own situation just a little bit. I get it. There's bad luck. You run into situations that you're just getting shit on, but man, most of the time you probably could have avoided it if you'd have done something differently. If you could trace it back far enough.
100%. Like, it's funny because I mean, not hilariously enough, but I was raised as a Nichiren Buddhist of all things, right? So, like,
You told me
was
that.
never gonna, yeah, I was never gonna fit in anywhere. Half black, half Fijian.
Right,
Lived in
right.
Fiji,
Yeah, tell me about
Indiana, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Georgia, and Inglewood, right? And then throw Buddhists on top of it, and it's just like, what are you? How? And I speak a bit of Spanish, so people just like it's a shock to the system. It's throwing water on the robot proverbially, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
the thing about it is, you kind of figure it out, right? Like we, we're kind of in this kind of weird state where like everybody, even like Rodeo Drive isn't as rodeo-ish anymore. There's things that are changing and things and establishments that were the temples of everything, right? Like we would go to this, whatever. If you're a certain age, hey, he likes it. He really likes it. Everybody knew it was like a live commercial, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody knew that, right? But now there's no cultural touchstone like that where you can kind of pull and everybody knows because it's cool that everybody's found their own community, whether it be, a country club or a political party or a religious organization, music bands. We all do it. Like us
Absolutely.
as humans, right? We need a sense of belongings. Oh, I'm jujitsu. I'm Muay Thai. Even within
Yeah.
jujitsu,
Group thing,
I'm a
yeah.
Marcelo Garcia. I'm a this and I'm a whatever, right? So we were kind of tribalistic, right?
Hey, give me
But
1 second, Adam. I'm going to share this to my page so that
yeah, no, 100%.
viewers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
while we're chatting. Go ahead. I'm listening, brother.
yeah. So the thing about it is like,
Okay,
how
are
do
you
we
live on
figure this
Facebook?
out?
Sorry.
Facebook, yeah, YouTube, all of it.
So just
Which,
go to your Facebook and share it from there.
yeah, absolutely.
Let me
Yeah. So that's the thing about it, right? Like these conversations. Sometimes, like we have to step out of the comfort zone, right, and get into the nitty gritty because like there's like, oh, screw you, whatever, right? Or you're
Mhm.
a Giants fan, I'm a Dodger fan. I'm a this, I'm a
Oh
that.
my
Like,
God, that's the worst. That's the worst. Well, I wouldn't say
yeah,
it's the worst. Political's the worst, but
it's
definitely,
almost so,
yeah, man. People are ready to fight, dude. If you don't like their team, dude,
dude.
it's
And but that's it. But the thing about it is like we all are trying to figure it out. Just like you mentioned, like the lockdowns and everything like that. Everybody had it, like different views of it, whatever. The after effects, people have had great stuff, bad things, whatever. I mean, for me, if not for that lockdown, I don't think I would have started the podcast. I was going like 2 hours each way
yeah.
from where I live by Hollywood to
And you're
like,
only going 5 blocks.
yeah, I'm in my sister's studio apartment. I mean, I feel like that's right. So with that all being said, it's just like instead of the tribalism, like maybe some exploratory, like, hey, we don't agree on this thing, and that's cool. But
That's okay.
we
Yeah, yeah.
that's okay. It's okay. Look at the 90% of whatever. Hey, are you struggling? I'm struggling too. Can we
So
figure out a way to
I got a
not
short.
struggle?
So I got a short story to go with that.
Yeah, go for it. That's what we're here for, bro.
So, man, first thing, man, share the link with me because I'm not seeing it on your page,
Okay.
on your Facebook page. Share the link with me real quick. But so the story is, this is a true story, and this just happened a couple weeks ago. So, I did a show called Fight Circus in Leavenworth, and yeah, I got like attacked by everybody and their brother from the organization about like use it. So they Fight Circus originally, my friend Josh Baker had started it in Kansas City. This was back in like 2016, 2017. He did a few shows. And then he stopped doing shows. And so here we are, however many years later, 8 years later, we asked him if we could use the name. I had not any idea that there was a fight circus in Thailand or anything like that, but apparently there was. But we'd already made all the art. One of the people from the organization got a hold of me, said, "Hey man, can you you don't have to change the name. We're working on just letting you kind of use it for one show," which was super cool. They could have because they had the copyrights, they could have made us like change everything, and it would have been the shittiest thing ever. But they didn't do that. They let us use it for one name, so we used it. What's up, bud? Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's a good thing to know on live TV. They could have waited. Thank you. A text would have worked.
I love the cameo. This is what we do, bro. As working fathers and everything like that.
Your tags are expired. Yeah, no shit. I know. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I procrastinate. What?
Yeah, bro. Like but that's the thing. You're a regular guy, and that's we need like regular people. Like it doesn't matter what you are, regular guy, girl. Like we don't care,
Fight circus thing. Okay, so now past the whole name thing. Okay, so I'm running the show in Leavenworth. I'm doing it one time a year. I got everything set up. Got it's an outdoor venue, really cool setting, right in historical downtown Leavenworth, and I have a best friend. My best friend, his mother is a county commissioner. She's running for county commissioner to get reelected or whatever. Anyway, so there is a political, and I don't even know if they're rivals because they're both Republicans. They just I don't know, for whatever reason, they don't like each other. And I think my buddy Jeff explained it to me, but I wasn't listening. I mean, just got a lot going on. I mean, I hate to say that, but it was real. Like, I mean, he said something about, that they had a problem with this guy. And I was like, but when I was trying to find out so there, downtown Leavenworth is just like you see in the old, the old Victorian style buildings where they're all, connected. It was just this really cool area. Anyway, there is a little garage, the only available place for me to have the fighters. Like, this is where I did a show down there 6 years ago. That's where they were 6 years ago. Okay. So he helps me find out who the owner is. When we find out who the owner is, it's a guy. I don't want to say his name, but it's a politician guy. And then he tells me at that point that, his mom doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. And it's like, okay, but he knows this is the only place. Need to get a hold of him, use it for the week. And so I did that through another political connection. That guy says, yeah, he said, you can use it. Absolutely. When we go down there, it's the key for the week. He offers me a sponsorship. Now, to me, it just didn't click. I didn't really, so to me, I had already had a Democratic couple of people. So the mayor of Leavenworth is married to Holly and Jeff Pittman. These are my longtime friends. So Holly was the mayor-elect. She just got elected. And Jeff has been a senator for a long time. Now, these guys, they had sponsored the show. They had sponsored the last show. There's just this one show a year in Leavenworth. And it's a good old boy town. I mean, I lived there my whole life. I don't live there now, but it's where I grew up. Anyway, they had already bought in. Now they're Democrats. Now the last show, I had a guy named Tony Barton also get a sponsorship. Now they were running against each other. So Tony Barton was running against Jeff Pittman in this election, and they were just like, it was a heated, they weren't friends. These guys didn't like each other for real, but they were both professional and they were both understood the deal. It's fucking politics, man. Like, people are going to say shit that like they got to say to try to get elected. It's what happens. But I don't know. I guess there were some personal attacks that went over the line, but I don't know. Like, doesn't that how it always is? Anyway, yeah. It cost me a potential friendship. Because this guy, was a sponsor, and when they found out, like, his mom, I'm friends with the family for a long time, so I'm a little hurt, but I just like my business and my company are not politically affiliated at all, and like we're not into the tribalism. Like, I will let anybody sponsor that wants to sponsor. I don't say no to anybody because I'm unbiased when it comes to, we don't have a stance on anything. We're just here to some fights.
That's the thing, right? And that's the thing. Like, when you go into like UFC, and MMA as a whole getting outlawed in New York, right? what were right the Fertitta brothers, right? They own the largest non-union casino, right? They stayed in New York, union heavy, what have you, and I mean, people died, right? People died at these like underground, smoker shows or whatever because there's no proper medical,
Right.
personnel and everything like that. They let their own New Yorkers die,
Yeah.
and then there was a I mean, he identified as a gay, like, congressman, senator. I don't know how the political system works over there, but like,
Right.
he was just like, I'm not going to have men, like half naked men, roll around and whatever in a cage. And it's just like, wait, you don't, you're not,
Is that what they said?
okay. No, 100%. There's video of it and what have you. Yeah. And then basically, Zufla gets bought out by WME Endeavor.
Yeah.
And now we're good to go. We're going to New York. And that was that like, I think that Rogan's first like UFC where it was supposed to be upstate New York, and then they change it like in a couple days notice, a week's notice to Dothan, Alabama, and he tells that wild story about I can't even remember who, whatever, but it's what is it? This Is Not Happening, Ari Shaffir's show on the Comedy Central, where they went to a stripper. Yeah, they went to a strip club in Dothan and whatever. That's that story. But that was predicated on them shutting out the Fertittas because they didn't want to accept the unions at their worldwide, hotels.
Oh, wow.
Bureaucratic red tape, bro. That's it.
Yeah, man. So that's crazy to me because give me 1 second. I don't want to print that. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, dude. I hate when I was doing podcasts. I actually at the last few I hired a kid to come in and do this shit for me so that I don't like shift my focus because I would be listening to the guests and I'm sitting here trying to cross post so that I could get viewers and stuff. So I apologize. I am very sorry.
No, that's good. I mean, but I mean, people are kind of seeing how whatever because like there are times like I'm out in the wild. Hey, are you still doing the podcast? And it was like, yeah, you like to make it look this easy, right? And maybe that looks easier, does it? Right? There's a lot, like they say about like a 10,000 hours of mastery. Like you're pretty much there in terms of the headaches and everything that you've gone through producing like. And we were kind of just talking kind of off air about like AI, right? Yes. Like how much easier it's made our respective lives, right? Because like I've, jumped behind the producer's desk. Like it's not like I'm not creating content, right? According to what's still here. Like, but it's just memes on Instagram and the book face as I like to call it, the book face, the gram of instant gratification, the Twitter machine, whatever. I'll share memes there. There's still content created. I produce the Wrestling with Reality podcast. So like I feel like that lyric of like the Dr. Dre, I'm in the lab with the pen in my pad trying to get this damn label off. That's it.
100%.
Yeah, bro.
I got it. I'm gonna get you some viewers here. There
you go. Well, so with that all being said, right? There is a reason why Rogan has young Jamie. There's a reason why. Yeah, dude. Like, imagine Rogan. Yeah,
Jamie got mad at me because he was supposed to do the lights for Fight Circus, and we changed it at the last minute. I forgot to tell him that he drove all the way from Lawrence, Kansas. Hey, I'm sorry if you're out there, brother. You know who you are. Jade, I'm sorry. He knows who he is.
And how long of a drive was that for people that are not initiated with Kansas? Like
35 minutes. So he was getting up, on a would have been a Friday morning. So he got up on a Friday morning, which is could be a guy's weekend or something. I don't know, but he made sure that he took some time out to call me and tell me I was a piece of shit.
Wow.
No, he didn't tell me that. He's a good kid. Now his name's Griffin Rogers, man. Hey, shout out to Griffin Rogers for making the drive from Lawrence to Leavenworth. And I still want to use it. I do have an excuse. My excuse is that I told your boss, the owner of the lights that hired you, I technically hired him, but I actually hired his boss who owns the lights, which is Zach Cummings. I'm not going to say any names. And Zach Cummings, UFC fighter. Yeah, I'm way not tougher than that guy. Zach Cummings was supposed to tell him I guess he didn't say anything to Griffin about us changing the lights. I think he was still pissed off at me for changing the lights. But anyway, we had to do something a little bit cheaper just because ticket sales were down. We had to make what things we had to do. And anyway, it ended up working out, but not so much for Griffin Rogers. Sorry, brother.
Oh man, Griffin Rogers, you're getting a shout out from me as well. That seems like a hellacious deal, but there's the things that happen in the fight game, right? Like again, it's not all glitz and glamour. I don't even in 2024. I don't know anybody that can like go look at it and be like, yeah, that's easy, right? I've never been tired for people like, hey, why don't you want to be a matchmaker? Why don't you know a lot about fights? I was like, nope, because I'm friends at matchmaking. Dude,
I tell you what, man, so I hadn't done a show for a while, since 2022. So this show I did with my friend, I'll leave his name out of it because I know he just never wants me to say his name. So anyway, my partner on this one, and also my friend and also my mentor, he and I did the show, and it was just kind of like, hey, let's do one show in Leavenworth. You know, I still got my heart in Leavenworth, you know, and they do like their fights there. Well, you know, the thing was like, dude, we did the show. Ticket sales were way low for going into the show. I was sweating, and I had told him over and over again, like, hey, man, if you build it, they will come. Like, you know, if you bring the show, man, my people will show up. And now I'm sweating because I don't put my name out there. And but they did show up. There was a lot of people that hit the door, and thank God. But yeah, it turned out to be a really good show. The crowd in Leavenworth is always on top of things. They're just loud. They're excited. And then so I forgot I hadn't done these shows for a couple of years, and it's like I forgot what these shows do to me. So following a show, I am fucking worthless for 2 weeks. Absolutely just exhausted mentally, physically. So my boss was like, you know, my boss, my regular job was just going, man, what is going on, bro? Like, you are the most motivated individual I know. And if you're fucking being lazy, we got a problem. And I was like, dude, I said, man, I got to apologize, man. Like, this shows, they absolutely wiped me out. I forgot how much goes into these things and trying to make sure that they run well. And so I don't think I'll be doing another one.
No, I mean, I hear you, brother. Like, so I just got back doing live interviews at Sparstar MMA. It's a local amateur show here in Southern California. Shout out to Tony Padilla and Michael Gross and the rest of the Sparstar crew. But a lot of names got, you know, Daniel Rodriguez get started. He's a former Sparstar champion. There's that was where Ronda Rousey had her one amateur fight, you know, at Hollywood Park Casino in Inglewood, you know, so that's, you know, so it's there, right? And Tony also, you know, he's the director of operations for Combate Global, right? There used to be Combate Americas and what have you. So, you know, it's a big show. It's a big, for an amateur show, I mean, they have the lights, everything. They're about to get a, TV. I can't say anything. But, you know, there's big things that are on the horizon, right? So with that all being said, I helped set up on Thursday, right? Doing the work, right? And then the day of the show, because amateur fights here in California, same day weigh-ins. So in the morning.
That's great. How does that work?
Is. So, I mean, 9:30, right, is when...
Mm-hmm. So you get 2-hour rehydration time is all?
Pretty much. Man. Yeah. And no, I mean, but personally, weight cutting's dumb, right? I mean,
if you're both cutting 20 fucking pounds, man, why don't you just fight it, you know? But I understand it.
Tell him, JW. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's dangerous. I've lost fights because of it. Absolutely. Anytime you cut more than, in my opinion, with my body, in my experience, anytime I would cut more than 9 pounds the day of weigh-ins. So if I could get within 9 pounds going into weigh-in day, I was okay. I could rehydrate. I would not feel it. Anything over 9 pounds and you're cutting into your gas tank 100%. It is going to cut into your gas tank for the fight. You won't rehydrate. You'll feel it. To me, that's what worked. You know, I went 11 pounds a couple times. I cut 23 pounds 2 days in 2 days, twice in 1 month. That was fucked up. That was when I decided that I was going to fight heavyweight and stop fighting 205 was that experience right there.
No, absolutely. And for me, it's just like, what is this? And let's take the UFC. Is this? And you hear people like, "Oh my God, you're not professional," and blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, is this the Ultimate Fighting Championship or the Ultimate Weight Cutting Championships? Because that's two different sports, right? And are we kind of looking at, right, when we announce a 205-pound title fight, light heavyweight championship of the world, right?
Right.
Are you really the light heavyweight champion because you are closer to 300 pounds?
Man,
right?
So right, yeah. So Zach, my coach, man, he had like he passed out or didn't pass out. He got dizzy and slipped and hit his head cutting weight for a fight, and he had to miss the fight. Yeah, he split his shit wide open. He had to get stitches, and they pulled him out. So yeah, like it's a dangerous game.
It is. I personally don't like it, and this is not Sparsa or any promotion that I work with or for or what have you. This is just my own personal opinion. And again, we're judging the weight, right?
I'm going to put my out there as a fighter. I'm sorry. I don't finish your thought. Finish your thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So basically, again, if you're fighting at 205, so when the time you enter the cage or the ring, you should be both 205 or whatever the contracted weight is, right? That's otherwise we're then we're scaling upwards. So it's not a 205 pound title fight, then it's like a 300-pound title fight. Your light heavyweights are heavyweights. Your heavyweights are super heavyweights. Like why is it upset? And isn't that a disadvantage, right? So then why are we banning what is it, the testosterone or what have you? Because like we're already not like. How much of this are we going to shave, right? It's like a scalpel shaving.
Let me throw out a thought here for you too. So I'm going to say that I don't really hold a strong opinion in this on either way. I can tell you that I believe in one thing, and that is like the process when it comes to when you prepare for a fight, it should be hard. It should be the hardest thing you've ever done. And here's why, because like this thing, it's not dig deep on this. So the philosophy here in my mind is this thing that's fighting. There's not very many of us that can do this. All right. Like there is a mentality here that like, it's almost like we were born in the wrong time, like we should have been born in 500 years ago or 600 years ago or something where they were still dueling with swords or maybe even, go back to the gladiator days or something like that. It's like there are these certain percentages of people that just are just built differently, man. Not everybody can go in there and willingly sign up to get punched in the face.
Right.
I've thought a lot about it. Like I've been asked all my career, like, why do you fight? I don't get why anybody would want to go and sign up for something like that. And, it's like, I don't really know that I've ever had a good answer for it. So here's like my philosophy when it comes to cutting weight, what's happening to a person mentally, physically, when they're going through this, and then what's happening when you get into the fight and then you say you win or lose. Okay. So we'll just start at the beginning and I'll just dissect this. The fight, when you sign up for it, a couple months in advance, we'll just say 2 months. All right. That's pretty typical. You sign the contract. Now you've got three things. You've got a name, you've got a place, and you've got a win. So you got a date, a person, and a where. All right. So now you know who you're fighting, when you're fighting him, and where you're fighting him. This is where things like, low level guys that are just signing up think that they want to do this shit. Everybody thinks they want to be a fighter until that happens. When you get those three things in front of you, things change. So you move into this area where, okay, now it's like, now the preparation for this, it needs to be tough. It needs to be hard. It is like, this is like this is what we get out of it. This is what we get out of it. This is what fighters get out of it. Okay. And some go to the extreme. I'm not a big weight cutting guy. I'm actually a pussy when it comes to that, because like I said, I stopped fighting 205 because I hated cutting fucking 25 pounds for a fight. But like you get into where these guys have been cutting this weight, and they get like, so, okay, where's your threshold at? Okay, right here. Okay, I'm going to try to push harder the next fight. So then you get into where shit gets carried away and people get hurt. All right. That I don't agree with. This difficulty going into a fight, I do agree with. Like, man, if you need to cut 20 pounds, man, let him cut and let him, because there is an advantage. Like, you get part of your fighter's purse if he doesn't make weight. So if he didn't push hard enough, he loses some of his money. And I agree with that as long as it's not dangerous. But now you go to this fight, all right, you prepare one thing, as a professional, especially you're signing up for somebody, you're signing up to fight somebody that is also a professional. So this guy, I mean, not all professionals train, but most of them do. And most of them, if they don't train regularly at the time, they've trained in their life, or else they fucking wouldn't be. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, but like, you're going to get worked out real quick if you ain't got some kind of something going for you. Now, so you're fighting somebody that's trained, professional, ready to fight you. All right. So this is something that, okay, so I'm just talking about like where you're at mentally. This used to be something that I thought about a lot, but after years of doing this shit, it doesn't. I gotta like try to remember what it was like to be nervous for a fight. Now, don't get me wrong, nervous. I'm always nervous for every fight, and I'm even a little scared, and that's just natural. All right, but like where I have a deal in my head, it's like as you get to be a veteran, I guess. I know some of the younger guys don't seem to. They kind of seem to have it too. It's like something my mind does. It switches off the thought process. So I get nervous, and yeah, there's always the possibility of who knows what can happen. But my mind has been trained enough to where it instinctively like just switches off that worry. So I worry, but I don't worry. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Yeah. Like, so you get into the cage, you fight, you win, hopefully, then you win. And it's like, man, the win feels better when you worked harder to get it. Man, I don't know how many fights I won by knockout in the first 30 seconds, man. A whole fucking bunch. It was, especially as an amateur man, it was like, I really kind of cheated myself because I didn't have to work hard and I had a hard punch and I would get lucky and just bink. Oh, he's out. Awesome. I win the fight. And I never got punched. I just there was no grind. As I got to be a professional and got some professional fights under my belt, I enjoy the grind. That's part of the process. The whole process is that, and the weight cut is that too. So that's where my opinion lies. It's a deep, delve into the description of why we fight and what I think of weight cutting.
No, I love it. I love it. And again, you as somebody that's been through the process, and experience how arduous it can be, that's one thing, right? But see, for me, if the whole thing is if this person is fighting this person, it's to determine who's the better out of the two, right?
Yeah, that's what gets carried away. You know what I mean? Like there's a weight cut, and then there's this just fucking nonsense. Yeah,
right. So the thing about it is, because the weight cut, you never really see whether it's a 24-hour, like a rehydration deal, whether it's a 12 hours. Some places it's 8, and that's where the state athletic commissions come in, what each state does and doesn't do or whatever, and basically what ends up happening, right, is somebody that didn't, they made the weight, right, but they didn't do it properly, right? They go in and whatever, and they get cold clocked, right? Or they don't perform as optimally. Well, if the whole kind of sum, what we're supposed to get is the better out of these two on this night, we're not really seeing that because already, because of the weight cut, it's skewed because one coach has, their idea of how to do it, the other coach, whatever. And even weight cutting as a concept, as the way that I understand it, right? As, like Mark Ratner and the UFC was really spearheading, getting MMA legalized state by state, right? Basically, they got something, they borrowed it from wrestling, collegiate amateur freestyle wrestling and boxing, which they were already doing, what have you, to get the good graces of the state athletic commissions, right? So it's something that was borrowed from some sports that, yes, they're attributes of MMA, but they're not the whole deal, right? And I mean, MMA as a concept, 2007 is when we started saying it. Before it was no holds barred or smoker, tough man, shoot box, right? Exactly. So even that as a concept is pretty new. Only the last 20 years, right? Like there was a UFC before there was a MMA, right? So with that all being said, that's where it kind of comes from, to the best of my understanding, right? So can we agree that MMA is its own thing? Because now we also have it in jiu-jitsu, right? Weight cutting happens in jiu-jitsu and whatever, and then you have to account for your gi versus no gi and what have you, and then like the big, if it's a money or a super fight or what have you, well then now there's no weight limits and whatever. So what the hell was the whole thing for in the first place?
Yeah, I agree 100% with all that, because like it's to me, I understand, and it doesn't make sense. It's like when you look at the whole, but like, I mean, man, you could kind of dissect just about, anything when you come to any kind of like sport that gets departmentalized like that. Like I think you run into that type of stuff. Like, you got like, a group of people that work for, this government agency that just does nothing but this. Okay, now you've got this. So then you have a system of guys cutting weight. Now you got guys that are getting really fucking good at it. Okay, now we've got to adapt our shit. Okay, then they got to adapt their shit. Okay, there's little tiny things. It's just like building a fucking race car. Like you just tweak this and tweak that and tweak that, and you get that extra pound or two. And like, I understand and I completely agree that like, what the fuck difference does a pound or two make? But when you're fucking down to the wire, man, and you can't make that last pound, and you're trying to squeeze the last bit of ounce of water out of you, man, so that you can make weight. Yeah, I'd be cool with just not doing that. And I'll fight a guy my size. I don't fight anybody any fucking size. Everybody knows that. That's my problem. but like, when you get to those guys in the lower weight classes, man, they're fucking after it, bro. They're just like, they're looking for every little edge.
Yeah, and it's just, and like the Ronda Cyborg, that was, Cyborg didn't want to go down to 135, but Ronda wouldn't go up, right? You had Kayla Harrison.
That's the fucking game. Yeah, cut weight. Yeah. Cut weight, bitch. Yep. So that I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I almost feel like just like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and all of the different attributes or whatever. Now we've got like power. Man, that's what they of course, like BKFC. We're you're fighting August. What is it? 16th?
16th. Yep.
Yeah. So, but I mean, one thing since we last talked is now we've got Power Slam.
Right. No, oh yeah. So I tried to get that on. So I tried to get that on Fight Circus. And I was given just a big hell no. First off, my partner's like, "You're not putting that shit on my goddamn shoulder," and I was like, "Bro, have you seen the views that it's getting?" Okay, and he's like, "Well, I don't care if I ain't got to fuck with it. My name's not going to be out there, so go ahead, I guess." Anyway, so I tried to get it, but Athletic Commission said absolutely not, no way in hell ever. And I'm like, okay. I mean, like it's so I don't know. It is kind of fucking ignorant looking. I would never do that, but
dude. I don't. Yeah, but so in that vein, maybe we should have an ultimate, like those people that just want to cut weight, just to cut weight.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. We should cut weight cutting fighting champion, and not even fighting ultimate weight cutting championships.
Yeah.
Like since we're already doing Power Slam, it's just like the next evolution. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, isn't it in Russia that they have the sauna championships?
Probably.
Yeah. So I feel like if you're dissecting, right?
Believe it.
yeah, if you're dissecting all of the different attributes of whatever, so I mean, if we've already done Muay Thai, whatever, and it's mixed martial arts, well,
Mhm.
isn't that an art? If you get it right, that's an art, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
well, why not do that? Like,
Moving the wings just a little bit on a race car, man. It's like that one little edge is like, yeah, I'm with it. But yeah,
yeah.
let's talk
So
about the fight, man. So yeah,
yes,
this is a big deal.
so obviously you had Nate Shook, matchmaker extraordinaire, on your pod, right?
Yeah.
So were there grumblings even back then about you fighting for BKFC in the literal square circle?
So I was I never got a fight booked, and they had an opponent for me and everything. The opponent was they reached out to the opponent. It was Matthew Stretch, something or other. I don't know. He got pieced up in his one fight. I think he might have had two. I don't know. Anyway, he did end up fighting BKFC later at a later date, but I was supposed to fight this kid, and they held open tryouts in here in Kansas City. They had the open tryouts. Nate paid me to come and do some videography for him that day. I got to meet the legendary Chris Lieben, which was pretty fucking cool. Yeah, so he had Chris Lieben with him, and then COVID.
Friend of the show, yeah, friend of the show. He's been on here.
Has he? Right on. I tried to get hold of him. I was gonna see if you do my podcast, but I was shutting it down right around then. So yeah, I went into my where I just stayed away from podcasting for a while, but I did want to have him on there. Anyway, if you're listening, Chris, bro, I need you. Like, let's do one. Let's do one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
which are you throwing your hat back in? Are we getting Matt Cannons back into the podcast?
I'm gonna bust it out. I actually bought a new mic and stuff like that. I've been going to the I don't know. I just it's funny because I got my buddy Rob Fizz. Shout out to Rob Fizz. Man, he's a great videographer, man. He and I work together all the time. He does he does a bunch of videography for my partner in Fight Circus in FAC, the Fighting Alliance Championship here in Kansas City. And he does great work. He does great work. I basically gave him all of my, when I stopped doing the podcast, I went through the divorce. I got, just was not in a good place headwise to do anything publicly. I gave him all my shit, like everything, man. I said, here, bro, like, I don't think I'm ever going to need this again. I kept the computer. Once I got through everything, got my head out of my ass and stopped whining about the divorce, man, I kicked the computer back on, man. Here I am, it's been 2.5 years, but here I am really about a year from the point where I gave him all my shit. And here I am. I've got cameras. I got mics again. I got, and I'm here. I'm talking about doing the podcast. I've done a show, I've fought, I haven't fought this year, but like I got a fight coming up. So anyway, that being said, I definitely was thinking about getting back into it. Chris, you can be my first guest, bud. So back to the fight. BKFC, man, is going to be right here in Kansas City. This cat is a maniac. It's been.
I love it.
Ignore that animal because he's a maniac, dude. Like, this is the new kitten we got. Yeah, he's out there fighting with the dog right now. Anyway, these guys go at it all hours of the night. Anyways, it pisses me off. So BKFC coming to Kansas City. I was approached by their matchmaker, and wait, did I finish the story about? So they canceled it because of COVID. I didn't finish my story about the first. So when I did the podcast with Nate, yes, I was set to be on BKFC, and BKFC, the COVID hit fucking full bore, and just everything shut down. Yeah, so I didn't hear anything back from them about it, and I saw that my opponent had fought. So, but again, I wasn't really in a place headwise to worry about it, so I didn't really worry about it too much. But here they are back, and then I'm one of the first guys he calls. He says, "Look, man, like I know you're retired because I did unofficially retire 2 Februarys ago from MMA. I went out on a win, but I just think that there was a couple of things here. The fight was we just tried to get it done. Like I just went through this divorce, this horrible ass divorce. I talked to Zach, my coach, and I was like, dude, like let's just get me one in there. I just like, I could use it, man, and get my head straight. Let's get me back in the gym. That'll make me feel better. And we'll just do this one on, and that way I can retire, because I don't know with my new job if I'm going to be able to get back in here and get into any kind of really serious fight shape and get a run in here at the end. And, he said he didn't like it, but he was like, fair enough. So he found me a guy. And, we went in there. I won my first ever fight by submission with the Kimura. So, better late than never. So I actually won it with the Kimura. So anyway, I had a little speech, and it's actually, ironically, it was at the same venue that the bare knuckle is going to be at. Now I get the call recently about fighting on bare knuckle, and his pitch was basically that you were tired, but you had 2 shots on the big stage, which was 2 Bellator shots, but you didn't really get an opportunity to get a decent matchup. Like we're offering you a fair matchup and your chance to kind of seal your legacy and get a win on the big stage. And like, I didn't want to tell him, but like, as soon as I saw he was calling, yeah, I was in. I'm definitely not going to be one of those guys that comes in and out of retirement, but this was the big show. This is the big show. They get like millions of views on their pay-per-views and in their YouTube channel. So like, and it's not really about that. Here's the deal. I was training regularly in the gym. I got a couple of guys I'm mentoring, one particular, Tyler Berg, up and coming amateur. And I like mentoring the fighters. I like working with them. And this particular kid had a fire in my ass, man. I was back in the gym hard and heavy, and like I had time. So I had switched to a new job, this one I have right now, which is I can get into the gym as much as I want, which is just great. And it's got me in a really good place. So I'm already in shape when he called. So I'm like, okay, let me talk to my coach. I called Zach, and Zach almost immediately said yes. And that's really unlike him. He knew I've been in the gym working out and just, doing well. So he's like, yeah, man. He said, if it was MMA, I'd say no, but like, dude, this is your shit. Like bare knuckle boxing is I've always thought you'd be good at that. I was like, well, all right. I just got this pretty face, man, I'm not trying to scar it up. Like, psych, this bad boy's tore up. I got here.
It looks like kill, right? That's
right.
Might as well, right? You gotta use what you got. That's what I'm saying. Which it's crazy because like before, right? The last time we talked, BKFC was almost a power slap of the kind of MMA or combat sports culture, 100%. Right?
Yep.
And now with like the inclusion of Conor McGregor, but I mean even without Conor McGregor, BKFC was becoming Palomino, like the real world champions, like Mike Perry.
Bare Knuckle 56 had 18 million viewers, like 18 million. That's 18 million, not billion, not zillion, but million. Like that's fucking phenomenal. That's a lot. That's times that by the dollars. Yeah, they're doing all right. They're doing all right.
No, and shout out to David Feldman for putting it all together. And his younger brother is actually doing the celebrity boxing stuff. Oh, really? So both Feldman brothers are involved in their own kind of combat sports empires. And yeah, I dig it. Like for everybody that wants to fight, like, and you can't even say like, oh, it's the older, like then that was the thing early on, right? With BKFC specifically when they arrived on the scene, a lot of old washed up, UFC fighters, MMA fighters, they didn't get their due, whatever. Right. But now
go ahead.
But now we are in this kind of, 3-4 years removed, right, from that, being the kind of the speak of the day, right? And literally people are now training specifically for BKFC.
So I got a couple takes on that. One is, being an aging fighter that really just doesn't want to quit. This is something that I've done for over 30 years. So I've got a career that spanned over 3 decades. I started in junior, or I started in USA Boxing when I was 14 years old, and I've been fighting till today. Okay, so and I don't want to say how old I am, but like 30 plus years. All right, so 30 plus years of fighting organized fights. It is all I fucking know. This is what has kept me, and this is one thing, when I'm mentoring these younger guys, like, here's an example. The only time I've ever been on the honor roll in my life was when I was boxing in high school. I made the honor roll, and it was like, it gives young guys that are maybe having some struggles with whatever. Everybody's got their demons, man. We're all trying to make it through this world. So you got these guys that are younger and they've got that mentality. They've got that, like I talked about, where, man, maybe we should have been born 600 years ago. Okay. These guys, it's built into them to, be protectors, to be, this is what I'm built for. I'm here to, keep the hoarding tribes from coming, the other hoarding tribe come over and, take and, kill our kids and take our women. I'm our last defense. And that's the mentality that these guys have. Not all of them. A lot of them, they're just, some of these guys are athletes that come out of college. I don't want to say that we're all just fucking crazy, but like, this is kind of the mentality that we have. We're here to protect. Anyway, so you get these. Not everybody likes, man. It makes, so when Brett Favre retired, man, you could tell he didn't want to, man. Like, didn't that make you feel like shit a little bit? Like, wish there was something else for him. You know what I mean? Like, you tell the dude still wants to play. Well, you know what? Maybe that's what this is, man. Maybe, and it's not, they're still getting young guys, like you said, that are training for this, and it's a whole nother sport of itself now. But you still, like, man, to be able to see, somebody that's, not done so well in the UFC because of his age or whatever, come in there and bang it out one last time, man. And that's what this is. Like, they want guys that are gritty, fucking mean. And this sport is a mean sport. Like, this is not for so there's two different types of fighters, in my opinion. There's the athletes that are just gifted from God, that are just built guys. They go to wrestling school and they kick ass, and they're very tough motherfuckers, dude. They but not everybody has dog in them, and this is what we talk about in my gym. You can't teach dog. All right. That is and I say, when I say dog, is like, it's just a meanness, dude. This fucking out there to fucking beat the fuck out of someone. I hate to say, excuse my language, but like, to pull a little gangster out of me, like, it is absolutely just, you're out there to beat the fuck out of someone. Like, okay, like, it's we're not pals no more. Like, the cage is closed, door shut. Bro, I'm about to beat the fuck out of you. Like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you until you fucking quit. And that right there, that meanness, dude, that dog in you, like, and then also the dog is like the wild part of you that doesn't know how to give up. It's a battle of wills in there, and you're trying to impose your will on the other man or woman, whoever, we'll not get into that, but whatever gender you're fighting. Okay. So you're in there to impose your will on this man or woman. And like, once you break their will, it's just, it's a matter of time. Some motherfuckers, you can't break their will. You've got to beat them half to death. And that's just, it's impressive to me that that some people just absolutely are just fucking mean. And that's what this sport is. It's taking that meanness and that dog, and it's putting it out there. And if you don't have that meanness or that dog in you, man, like, you're probably not going to do well in the sport.
No, absolutely. And I just love, right?
I'm sorry.
No, I love it. But this is what podcasting is for. Like, and I was a fan of like the Johnny Carsons and the, those like little 3-4 minute interviews, and we'll be right back and whatever. But there's more than that, right? Like, you don't get the sense of the person, right? Like, this is what podcasting is about, and again, we're selling fights here. Like, this is it. And why people? Because I've been doing this for 8 years, the interviews and podcasts and whatever. And almost every fighter that I ask, like, going back to what you said previously, right? We're like, they're like, oh, I got into, combat sports the prototypical way, right? Mm-hmm. There has, in 8 years, hundreds of fighters. There has never been the same two answers.
Right.
Everybody has different. Like everybody has different whys and what have you. But you're looking at like Christine Ferreira, world champion, like Mike Perry, like I mean, not that his career was dead or anything like that, but like he was built for BKFC, and like yeah, and I mean, and even the pageantry, right? That's the squared circle, right? It's like pro wrestling likes to say it, boxing likes to say it, but it's literally a squared circle, right? Which is the perfect shape and what have you for that. It breeds engagement. It's attention getting. Mr. Live Worldwide, again, friend of the show, who also has a podcast, right? I mean, he's worked pro wrestling, he's worked MMA, he's like a 20, 30-year veteran, and I believe he might be 30. That's what I said, Jeff. You're not 30, right? You'll be forever 30 to me. But like everything about it, the Police Gazette, and honoring like it comes from almost like catch wrestling, right? It comes from Europe, and then the ancestors that came over to the States, and upstate New York. There's Hall of Fame. That's it. Yeah, that is it. That is in our blood, right? And that's the thing. We all fight, right? And that's one thing that most people don't get. We all have a fight. You're a kid in college from the skids and whatever. You're trying to figure everything out. That's a fight, right? But the boss is blah blah blah, and your home life is whatever, and you still got to punch in and punch out. That is a fight. We're bred to fight, And like you said with your proteges, right? There's an instance where there has to be somebody the first out of the cage. I mean, out of the cave, right? There has to be somebody that touches the fire to see what we can do with the fire, right? To test that wheel out when they, carved it out of stone or what have you, and somebody gets run over, But those are those people, right? So with BKFC, we're seeing that, right? And where we couldn't see that in in Christine Ferreira's, I had eyes on her. Invicta is my favorite. Speaking of Kansas, right? Scottish Rite Temple, right? Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite MMA promotion in the world because, in many ways, even after, Chris Cyborg is still there, so I can't say after, but like even with Chris Cyborg, Ronda Rousey, Kayla Harrison, a litany of like literally box office draws, right? Like, once in a generation, what have you. Still, in many views, women's MMA is almost where men's MMA, like what is it? No Holds Barred was 20, 30 years ago, right? So you still get a little bit of culture in that, right? And the same thing with the BKFC, right? You get the culture, like it's just amazing to me that is it. And again, you might have not found your way in MMA or Muay Thai or whatever, but here's the thing, or even traditional boxing, right? But this was traditional boxing until somebody got there. This is what we knew.
What it is, they got tired of broken knuckles, man. It's just like the same reason why MMA started wearing gloves. MMA was bare knuckle a long time ago too. Its first 7, 8 of them. I don't know when they actually started wearing gloves, but that was to save for broken hands. So there's still that danger, and I think that's probably the biggest. I wouldn't say scare, but it's one of the main concerns I have is that I lose this fight because of something like a serious cut or a broken knuckle. So like I've had 6 boxer fractures just from street fighting over the years. I never got any in actual sanctioned battle or anything like that. But I did break my thumb. That was unsanctioned though. But it was an MMA fight. Anyway, so the knuckles thing is the biggest thing. It's not to protect the other guy's face. We don't care about that. Like it's like we're trying to save the dude's hands because the broken knuckles put you out of commission for a while. But they I think they got a little art of wrapping them now that they kind of keeps the hand, the bones in place. I know shit. I mean, you get them hands wrapped. Oh, them knuckles are mean, dude.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Way faster because you don't have nothing on the end of them, dude. Boy, I can't out.
I can't remember who, but somebody was on Rogan discussing it, and they like how tight the hand wraps are and how different, it is. Just like left way, right? And it might have been a left way. I forgot the guy's name. Like he's the king of left way and what have you. But there's certain ways that you wrap, depending on the sport. So the fact that we've gotten it so much so to a science that we know, again, increased damage, right?
Yeah.
But also protecting your knuckles.
Baby.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's so wild, the innovations, right? And you remember it happened in like the late 90s or early 2000s where homeboy had like it was a boxer world championship fight. It might have been Miguel Cotto, and they had like cement in the gloves and everything like that.
Yeah, man. I watched that documentary, man. Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, dude, that was wild.
In the ring, dude. It was assault in the ring. And
yeah, but
dude that was undefeated, man. And they pulled the shit out of his gloves and he fucked that guy up, man. Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah, but now we don't even need that because we don't even need cement because they've got them wrapped so tight. Again, protecting your knuckles, but same effect.
Man, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. Like, this is gonna be it for me. I'm interested to see how the hand wraps go. I haven't, seen it in person. I haven't been to a bare knuckle fight. I just have watched it on YouTube, and I didn't even look up my opponent. I sent his name to my coach. My coach got back to me, said, "Yeah, we'll take the fight if he will." And I sent it to Nate, and then they booked it, so he wasn't hesitant on taking the fight either, which is cool. Like, let's go, man. I did see that he had an interview on, or not an interview, but they interviewed him, and it was a written story on the website that would pop it. Hold on a second. Get out of here. Get out of here. My cat is messing with stuff. Oh my God, this cat's crazy. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Should have shut the door. Anyway, so I did see that he has an interview on the website that kind of came across as interesting. I'm sure I'll get one soon.
Yeah. Anyway, damn right you.
Yeah, so I'm sure I'll get one soon. The interview was interesting. I don't know. It's about the first thing I've really looked into on him. I just stopped doing the whole like diving, deep dives into your opponents. I figure my coach will get that all figured out.
No, 100%. Now, obviously, because we're gonna do something a little bit different here. But like, obviously, you've had a throng of supporters to throughout the base of your MMA career. As you head to the squared circle, August 16th. Let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Oh man, bro, did we got enough time, man? I can't.
Let's go.
I can't tell you how many people have helped me over the years, man. Like, one thing that I want to say, man, is like, and this goes out to anybody that's struggling with life. I can't tell you where I was at 2.5 years ago because I just would rather not talk about it in publicly. But like, man, everybody is, man, like life is, we don't know what life is. Okay. Like, and we just have a bunch of ideas that people have come up with over the years and the centuries on, what we think is right and what we think is wrong and what we think is, the way to live and the way not to live. And it's like, nobody really knows. Like, you've got to figure that out for yourself. And if you're in a situation where like you feel like you're at rock bottom, like, this is the one piece of advice. And I will give a shout out to the guy that kind of helped me walk through some of this, but like, don't quit. Don't fucking quit. Don't you fucking dare quit. Like, keep pushing. There is something to be said about somebody that doesn't quit. There's just like, man, I've had the fuck beat out of me, not just in the cage, but in life. I've had, I've been beaten up. I've been in just a really bad places mentally. And I've, you gotta, there's something, like I said, there's something to be said about somebody that keeps pushing no matter how rough it is. All right. And one thing that you do get when you keep pushing and it's a tough situation, is that you will like people see nobody loves a story more than an underdog story. All right. You are an underdog when you're climbing up from rock bottom. All right. And people see that when they see this climb and this struggle and this unwillingness to quit, they stand an olive branch. They give you a hand. Like you will get help. Don't fucking give up. That's all I can say. Now, that being said, giving my shout outs. All right. One person that has really just absolutely inspired me. He's a mentor, a dear friend. Man, like James Krause, man, he's just over the course of the last year of my life. I think I have been affected more by this guy than anybody in my life. And now, like this dude, he got kind of got caught up in a bad situation. I really don't know much about it. It's still a kind of an open investigation, so I don't really know if it's been resolved yet. But I do know that this man has shook it off. He's no longer part of the UFC. And I can't say another thing that like everybody in the Midwest that has ever put on a fucking MMA glove owes this man a thank you for what he has done for the Midwest, regardless of what anybody thinks of the guy personally. This dude had absolutely put us on the fucking map. And like that's me saying this as a guy that wasn't such a big fan of James Krause as we, got to know each other. Anyway, blow smoke up this dude's ass. I'm hanging off his nuts, bro. Like, sweet. I hope he's watching this because I'm like Tarzanin right now. Anyway, this dude's really helped me through a lot of things with just personal finance. When you get to be my age, there's, that's part of your life that you need to, got to figure it out because it that adds a lot of stress and anxiety to your life. Also, just man, like I said, he's one of the guys that just kept pushing me, like, dude, don't give up, man. I'm like, he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't allow me to quit. And that's a big deal. You got to have somebody that believes in you. And then some of the shit this dude says is fucking amazing. He just pisses excellence. It's almost like the fucking guy's an asshole for being so sweet at everything, especially Warzone. Anyway, also my coach, Thad Cummings, like this dude, these two guys mean a lot to me. Two of my biggest influences. And I want to give a shout out to my original MMA coach. So this is going to be a special fight, man. This is my last fight. My original MMA coach was at the time the chief of police in Worland, Wyoming, where I started fighting. And he and I, so we started up a little fight team. It was called Team Evolution 307. This was 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. And like this dude was a Division I All-American wrestler, collegiate wrestler from Wyoming. Just like you finally get a chance to punch a cop in the face and like he's a monster. So this guy, he's another, like these three guys, I would say probably are the biggest influences in my life. And still to this day, I talk to every one of them personally on a pretty much daily basis. But that's it, man. Like I don't want to go into a whole bunch more. I always, like everybody else, I appreciate my teammates helping me out, taking my punches to the face because I hit hard as fuck. Golly, I've just got a filthy mouth today. And then like my kids, man, they support me through all this nonsense. So
I love it. I absolutely love it. And then obviously August 16th, as people are going to fire up the BKFC app, it's downloadable everywhere, every smart TV, every tablet, every device, what have you. What are they going to see out of JW Kiser? Mad cannons.
Woo! They're going to see a guy that's fucking 45, 6 years old, whatever, that is still ain't lost it. Man, it's going to be a good time, man. I am in great shape. Like it is a heavyweight fight though. So, bring your popcorn because you never know. Like, daddy gets clipped and, you got to struggle and dig deep, man. We're going to find a way, but it's, it's one of those things that the heavyweight fights, it only takes one mistake and we're at a professional level. So, one good hard shot, man. And, who knows what could happen. So it's it's never a walk through the park. we are going to prepare for it regardless, 100%. And that's what we've been doing. They're going to see probably the best boxing I've ever done in my life. I've boxed a couple of times. There's just, I really didn't ever prepare for boxing like this fight. My coach, Zach, we have several guys on the card because it's an all Kansas City card too. So if you guys are in the local area, Kansas City, like come in and buy a ticket from me or one of the other fighters because it's going to be a great show. It's an all Kansas City card versus out of towners. So like you're going to have a good sense of, home and away team there, and everybody's going to be rooting for the same guy in every fight. So it's going to be loud no matter what. And that's that place is built for acoustics. So anyway, that being said, he has totally changed my training regimen. So I have not been able to throw a kick in, going on a month and a half now. So like we don't train with the regular MMA guys. He's got us off to the side, training on our own, doing our own drills. And like, man, I'm fucking sweet, dude. Like it's gonna be great, dude. It's just I've never been more ready for a fight. And that's the truth, even going back to my younger days.
Man, I love it. I love it. And the passion in your voice and your eyes, it's valuable.
I hope I hope I get into some deep water because I don't want to talk shit, or I want to definitely be humble. But like, I don't want it to be just, an easy win. I want it. What's his name again? I can't remember his name. Hey, if you're watching this, motherfucker, you better just come out and beat the fuck out of me. I mean, if I don't catch at least one of your knuckles to the mouth, hey, we're going to have a problem. Like, I want to get socked up a little bit. All right. So
there you go.
But then after that, I'm fucking beating the fuck out of you.
There it is. There it is. And for those who haven't already done so, I have, and the people out here should, where can people see your road to the Red Circle at BKFC Kansas City? Where can they follow you on the socials?
Man, just mostly at Facebook and Instagram. If you go to my Facebook, man, just follow me, shoot me a friend request, and I answer all of my messages. So, hey, I did Bellator in LA, and I had like over 200 messages. I answered every one of them. I'm a regular guy, just like you guys. Like, follow me, watch this journey, and just see my kids like me. We get ready for these fights. It's an event. My kids have been going to these things their entire lives. I got videos of my kid's mom when she was pregnant with my oldest daughter at my fights. So like my daughter's been going to my fights before she was even born. And they help out with the shows. Like my kids are amazing. They're awesome. You'll get to see a little bit of them. I post a lot about them. I interact with them a lot. But I keep up on content. I am a content creator too, so I'm out to entertain. You'll see some goofy shit. If you want to follow my Digital Alchemy, Digital Alchemy is a universe that I've created. It is I have a few different places that you can go and look at my content. One is if you go to Facebook, that's where I do most of my stuff. I've had some problems getting into my YouTube channel because I used to be sweet at that, but like going through the hard times that I discussed in the podcast, I lost access to my YouTube channel, which is very depressing. And I've been trying my ass off to get back in there, but Google's a piece of shit. So anyway, so where you can follow me, Digital Alchemy Universe / Fight Circus. That's going to change. So we're going to go back to Digital Alchemy Universe, Digital Alchemy Universal. Okay. So if you go to Digital Alchemy Universal, I did the Fight Circus show and I wanted to use that as my platform. All right. Also Digital Alchemy Promotion. God damn it. Digital Alchemy Productions. That is my main content like platform. That's where I put the videos I made, the logos, all that stuff. But I also do streaming. I don't stream. I post edit my Warzone clips, which like if you guys like watching that stuff, you'll love this because I play with UFC fighters. So these are guys that you'll know. Okay, so that I play with famous people. So like I'm just this shitty ass bare knuckle guy. These guys fight world class. These are world class athletes. You want to watch us talk shit and bitch at each other. There's the place to do it. So Digital Alchemy Productions, I put all kinds of clips up there. That's where I do my post edits. And then I got Mad Cannons Media, and that is that is an offshoot of. So I've done 3 promotions. All right, Fight Circus, Universal Combat League, and Apex. Apex I did, and it was really popular. And then I got out of the fight game, but Zach and I talked. Zach, I did that one with my coach Zach. Zach gave me the social media stuff because we're never going to use it anymore, and there's a lot of followers. So I switched it over to make it Mad Cannons Media. So you're going to start getting blasted on there by me with fucking retarded content. It's great. Oh, I can't say that, can I?
I mean,
it's canceled.
Yeah, I mean, it's August 16th, folks. Yes. Yeah, BKFC app, BKFC Kansas City, BKFC Fight Night Kansas City. Man, it's gonna be, I mean, hell with 2 hands, huh?
So to follow me for my journey, that is my content creation. To follow my journey, you got to go to my personal page, JW Kiser. You'll see the / Mad Cannons. So that's where you want to go to see, like, that's where my personal shit is, and where you'll see most of this stuff. Sorry, go ahead, Woods. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, like a luchador, you got to get your shit in, kid. I mean, this is the last run, so let's go. Guys, thank you guys for joining us here. Again, it's been a little sabbatical for the both of us, but we're kind of back in this for good. We're in the long run. It's like the Eagles, right? It's a long run, long road home. It's a long road home. So, yeah. So thank you guys for joining us here. And if you haven't already done so, again, go ahead and follow Mad Cannons as he heads to the BKFC Squared Circle, but also follow this guy, According to Woods, on all the social medias. It's literally right here. And be cranking out more content and what have you. Instagram is where you get the dumb shit memes, also the book face. That happens as well. And then more content for YouTube. So, again, Mad Cannons, you're subscribed to the podcast, aren't you?
100%, bro. I get all your shit.
Yeah, appreciate it. So get my shit in a plumbing kind of context. Yeah. Well, maybe not. But yeah, to get all the shit, it's According to Woods on the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I believe also a Twitter stream. So that's but if you don't believe me, you don't believe Mad Cannons, and I don't know why you wouldn't. You know what? Here's Pro Wrestler Zeta Zang to help convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.